What is fall? And I don't mean the 2022 hit film starring Grace Caroline Curry. You might say the leaves turning yellow, the misty mornings, harvest moon, twilight chill, soft flannels. And you'd be wrong. It is pumpkin spice latte, genetically engineered to contain the essence of autumn. Without Starbucks releasing pumpkin spice latte, the leaves legally can turn orange. They're in control of the weather patterns. Wake up, sheeple, they control everything. It's the big state. What is up, my little cooks? How are you doing? Today, I have 3 topics I want to discuss. Expensive versus cheap pumpkin spice latte, what even is pumpkin spice, and trying pumpkin pie for the first time. For the pumpkin spice latte test, I went to one of the more expensive cafes out there. I would definitely classify this as a fancy cafe, as their latte was €6. Booga booga! And for the cheap pumpkin spice latte, I'm going to a fast food chain, Hesburger. Haven't eaten here in the past 10 years because the burgers are a different breed. Alright, Hesburger pumpkin spice latte. $1.90. Much more affordable, but I feel like kind of rip-off because okay, no, it's technically not a rip-off. I literally just saw them make a normal coffee latte and then just put 2 pushes of pumpkin spice like syrup in it. So easily replicable at home. But I mean, it wasn't like €6, so actually it's kind of worth it if it tastes good at least. I don't want these to cool off too much. So let's test some pumpkin spice lattes. I have tried once before in Japan because they had a Starbucks, which doesn't exist in Estonia. And I got to say, it's one of the biggest letdowns I've faced in my life when it has come to food products. It's something that's been hyped up so much throughout your years. Like, oh, this is the definition of fall. This is autumn. This is the greatest thing to ever exist, you know? What other drink do white girls take pictures of incessantly? It tasted just like kind of a Christmas drink. It was just cinnamony. And that's an expensive pumpkin spice latte test. Just tastes like bitter Christmas. I feel a lot of cinnamon, some nutmeg, and it's just overall kind of a sweet and bitter. I don't mind it, but I would say this is like a 6 out of 10. Because of the price, I would never buy this again. This is I would pay maybe like €3 for this max. And this is Hesburger. I thought it would be close. I thought it would be like, oh, haha, fancy, expensive coffee versus cheap coffee, but they're like the same coffee with just a different amount of sugar or something. Oh my god, I cannot drink this. This tastes like so bad. When I was a child, we would have eggshells, cleaned of course, had like a little grinder, ground up the eggshells, put it on food, or I think I just had them straight, because it was like full of calcium. This tastes like the worst coffee I've had with eggshells grinded. And that's the closest taste I can give it to. It doesn't taste like pumpkin spice. It doesn't taste like any spices. I would rather pay €6 to drink this than €2 to drink this again. That's kind of depressing. But first I want to see what is the history of pumpkin spice and what even is pumpkin spice latte. When you think of the ancient times and you think of pumpkin spice latte, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Jesus H. Christ. What did he have to do with pumpkin spice latte? Absolutely nothing, because technically it was 2,000 years before Jesus Christ. It was, in fact, China that we're going to talk about. But it's not just China, it was Asia overall. They have the spices that consist of pumpkin spice latte. And if you guys don't know, pumpkin spice latte, the spices are cinnamon, cloves, which, my god, I have no fucking idea what cloves means. Like, half the time I'm trying to translate spices from American, I'm like, what the fuck? It's nelk in Estonian. We got nutmeg, which translates to musket. We have ginger, and finally, we got allspark. Okay, that's a bit of a joke. It's allspice, which I had the hardest time finding, because what the fuck is allspice? Is it a spice combination consisted of allspice? But no, it has a name called Jamaican pepper, which is much more natural. Like, okay, now I know what it is. It's a fucking pepper. Except it's not a fucking pepper. It's an unripe berry of a pimenta dioica. And I was searching for so long in my store for a fucking pimenka whatever, until I found out in Estonian, we call it spice pepper. Würzpipar. What the fuck is that? What is the naming convention? The spices How did they come from Asia to Europe so we could make fucking Starbucks pumpkin spice latte? It was, of course, the Silk Road. The problem was, it was very dangerous. We had sandstorms, which Darude made a song about a couple thousand years later. We got raiders, so, you know, all your spices could be getting stolen from. And the biggest issue, you were alone for a long time with nothing to do because you did not have your ROG Ally Xbox X with your Hades 2. That's messed up. Now take this with a grain of salt. I kind of did wanted to see how long it would take if you wanted to, let's say, go from one end of Silk Road, like in Asia, you loaded up your cart with nutmeg and cinnamon and want to take it to Europe. So I had like 50 kilograms of nutmeg, 50 kilograms of cinnamon, and I put it into ChatGPT because how would you even research this? I mean, you probably could, but I had like 1 minute and I was lazy. So what I got the answer to was that it would take around 1 year of travel, and while the price, everything I calculated to modern times, the price to load up the cart would be around $900. When you get to Europe, it would be on the low end, like 18 bands. Or on the higher end, the cost of a European apartment building. Also, fun fact, again, 2,000 years later, they made a game about it. It's Silk Road MMORPG, which I played for, at least for like 20 hours. I didn't even like the game. But when you're young, you just, I don't know, you're crazy? Because it was so goddamn boring. We now know the spices. We know that the spices came to Europe, but they were too expensive. So we jump a bit ahead in the future. The colonial era, 1600s. What did we do back then? We did nothing. There was no PlayStation back then. There was no TV, no electricity, no smartphone. We could not doom scroll. There was literally nothing to do. You woke up, you went outside to dig like a fucking little hole in the ground to irrigate your crops, because otherwise you have no food. You went to the bar afterwards, or how you call it, a tavern, a pub, had some wine, some drinks, and then went home and but talking about women, they do love to be in the... Yeah, so around 1600s, 1700s, baking became more of a thing because the spices became affordable. And I think the earliest known depiction of pumpkin pie itself was like 1700s, early 19th century. The greatest streamer you've ever seen, Premiere 2, is born. Pumpkins don't have flavor itself, so making a pumpkin pie is going to be pretty bland. What you wanted to do would put in like different spices. But people realized, or I guess companies started to want to earn more money. So the first pumpkin pie mix came out in what I want to say is 1930s, which consisted of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and allspice. It was a pre-made blend of spices. We're almost there. We're almost to modern times. What do these... Chad, pay attention. Katie, what do these things have in common? The Iraq War, Skype, Pirates of the Caribbean. Chad, answers? What do you think? Sci-Foril. That is correct. 2003, that's when it all started. That's when this guy, Peter Dukes, who was the head research and development in Starbucks, was tasked in making a seasonal drink. And I guess you can guess what it is. But now let's do that pumpkin spice latte iceberg. Just humor me, chat. Forget everything I talked about. Like, you don't know what this is. Pretend you're an American. You went to Starbucks. You bought a pumpkin pie spice latte. What do you think about it? You think there's... Ignore Bo Burnham. I just love Bo Burnham. You think there's pumpkin in it. Because it's literally, it's the spice of a pumpkin. So you think there's gonna be pumpkin in your latte. But in 2014, there was an article that came out, which stated, you'll never guess what's in a pumpkin spice latte. There was no pumpkin in it. People went furious. I'm not even exaggerating. Because the Americans thought pumpkin spice latte had pumpkin in it. And when it was revealed 10 years later that didn't have any actual pumpkin in it, people went crazy. They were like, what the fuck, man? We were lied to. Then, in 2015, they actually put in pumpkin into pumpkin spice latte, which makes no sense because pumpkin spice is the spices you put into the pumpkin pie to make a pumpkin pie, because pumpkin doesn't have any flavor. But no, Starbucks was like, fuck it. We'll give the people what they want. So, starting from 2015, the pumpkin spice latte actually now has pumpkin puree in it. Starbucks won because that was insanely good PR for them. They were like, oh, our drinks are so organic now. They contain organic material like actual pumpkin instead of the opposition who just have spices in them or other ingredients. Ew. And the people were happy because they have now pumpkin in their lattes. And the drink didn't change at all because literally pumpkin puree has like barely any taste. So this taste didn't change. So everybody won. But what the fuck is a pumpkin pie? Because I have never, I think, had pumpkin pie. And I was quite surprised. Because it's always in social media, oh, pumpkin pie is this, pumpkin pie is that. But I was very surprised to learn that pumpkins are native to America. There was no pumpkin in Europe up until like the 17th century, because they didn't exist in Europe. But I want to fix that. So I went out of my way to multiple stores to find pumpkin puree, which doesn't exist. Like straight up, for some reason in Estonia it doesn't exist, and I couldn't find it until I went to the baby food aisle, because that's the only place that had actual pumpkin puree. The cooking part is super easy. Unless by some freak accident you crack open an egg in a way where it slips out of your hand, drips down the stove, gliding over your entire kitchen counter, so you spend more time cleaning it than actually picking the pie. But yeah, other than that, pop in some eggs, put in the baby food, add some sugar, some of the spices, mix it all up. Add condensed milk, or for you Americans out there, evaporated milk, and you're honestly done. Just cook it for an hour and then let it cool off for 3 hours. It doesn't look like the ones in pictures, but I tried my best. Baby food, a pumpkin pie. It is sweet. It is, I guess the closest thing would be cheesecake, because it has the same consistency, same texture, same sweetness. Pumpkin really doesn't have any flavor. Like, oh my god, the only things I'm feeling are the flavors I added, the spices. Mostly cinnamon, maybe a hint of ginger, but it's mostly just cinnamon. I would say this is like 7 out of 10. I don't mind it, it's pretty good. I'm just not gonna feast on it on stream. Also, the calories are gonna be insane on that one. Since I already made pumpkin pie with all the required spices, I feel like it's not a big step to try to make pumpkin spice latte. Oh my god. God damn. Whoa! Alright, chat, look at this. This is a Finnish. It's technically not, it's Japanese, but it's kind of Finnish. It's mustakivi. Black stone. Got it from Japan. Because they had... I don't remember which prefecture it was. They had a person who studied in Finland under Mari Mekko for a couple years as a designer, and then started their own little store. All right. Shit. You can very easily make pumpkin spice milk latte at home. This is all you need. The spice part tastes exactly the same as in the expensive cafe. Because this is a €6 pumpkin spice latte. The main difference is the coffee flavor, or the coffee taste, which is different because of the beans. I mean, they use like fancy beans, I use like instant coffee. And it's more sugary. I feel like maybe they might have put like a pump of pumpkin spice syrup in there, or at least some kind of a sweetener, but like the spice itself tastes pretty much identical to what I made right now. Next time we're gonna explore immortality, which is definitely gonna take longer. So I hope to see you on Wednesday. All right, see you chat. Bye bye, see you Wednesday.